very much. Thanks, Tom, for a great introduction. It's so wonderful to be surrounded by friends here, and I've been a big fan of the NBJ Summit since it was started. And when I was 15 years old, I read a book that my mom had up on an old dusty shelf called Sugar Blues. And reducing sugar made me feel so much better that it actually began a lifelong fascination. The simple idea that health can be strongly influenced by nutrition. The conviction that's really only possible as a teenager, I decided to learn everything I could about the link between nutrition, lifestyle, and health. And I'm still learning something new every day. The nice thing about being an author, Tom mentioned I'm an author, is that you get to research topics that just interest you. And my next book is called Living Longer, The Art and Science of Aging Well. As part of this book research, I'm learning all I can about the biological markers of aging. And there's a bunch of them, but the science isn't really settled. There's blood markers, muscle markers, even DNA markers to choose from, but none of them are really perfect. But one measure of biological aging that is for sure and completely validated is Lifetime Achievement Awards. It feels like we're just getting good. I'm really appreciative of this honor and this award represents, especially enjoying the company of previous winners in the audience who've done so much for our industry. Receiving this award gave me a chance to reflect on some common threads that run through my life and through my career, and I think for me it really comes down to a few simple ideas. Here they are. Simple idea number one, remembering that nutrition matters. Every single day, I remind myself of what we're really trying to do here. And for me, that's bringing to life the potential of nutrition to positively impact human health. Nutrition is fundamental to sustaining and to improving life, and we're just beginning to understand and to apply its potential. For pregnant women, infants, children, the right nutrition can provide a strong head start with lifelong advantages, including preventing blindness, reaching full brain development, height potential, and more. Just ask the people who are doing this every day in the field with Vitamin Shop. Not Vitamin Angels. Vitamin Shop too. Vitamin Shop is a strong supporter of Vitamin Angels. For vulnerable populations, including the elderly, the incapacitated, and the very ill, the right nutrition can literally be the difference between life and death. For the rest of us, the right nutrition can make our lives better every single day, help prevent and manage conditions, and improve performance across a wide range of health parameters. And we're just scratching the surface. Simple idea number two is caring about the work. Given the potential of nutrition to impact lives, the work we're doing together matters. It's my personal and professional mission to bring effective nutrition products and help the companies that can measurably impact health at scale to the people who can benefit most from them. If you're one of the 250,000 or so people who have read my books, you'll know that while I was at the top of the world running a $2.5 billion company in an industry I loved in my 30s, I had a major setback. I got chemical sensitivity, also called sick building syndrome, so badly that I couldn't even work or go indoors. I left my job, moved to a milder climate, built a new house with non-off-gassing materials, changed my car, changed my clothes, changed my personal care products. I didn't use shampoo or deodorant for a year. You're lucky you missed that phase. But I eventually got better. So within the year and a half or so that took, I was wondering if I'd ever be able to work again. Not being able to go indoors can really be a strong impediment to career building. That period started my entrepreneurial career, but it also gave me time to think. Of course, I was going to miss the money if I couldn't work, but it was so interesting to me that wasn't even really in first place. I was really going to miss the actual work. I feel such a strong natural affinity for the healthy living space as an inventor, as a writer, as a business practitioner. I was really sad about potentially not being able to do it professionally. I cared about the work and still do. Simple idea number three is integrating work and life. People talk about work-life balance, and if having a separation is super important if your work is something that is onerous to you. However, if you're lucky or smart enough to love your work and feel a sense of mission in it, integrating work into your life instead of creating a false separation has been a prescription for productivity and happiness for me. I still work at least part of 6+ days a week, but I wake up looking forward to reading scientific articles and writing up briefs on the weekends. And the ideas that I get on a hiking trail for solving client problems are often better than those I get in my beautiful Manhattan office. When you integrate your work and life, it's also critically important to have a little bit of fun at work, which brings us to simple idea number 4, making work an adventure. Thinking about a professional career as an adventure has allowed me to have a ton of fun with my work. It's also involved making some bold moves. With the total confidence of someone with zero experience, I created the first multivitamin position for men, Mega Men, literally during my first week in charge of the vitamin category at GNC in 1991. The next year, I risked getting fired very early in my career for buying 200,000 custom blue glass bottles that I had to have for a cool new brand design without getting any permission at all. I created a strategy that convinced a giant multinational to buy GNC for $2.5 billion back when that was a lot of money. I founded or co-founded a dozen companies from scratch, all with brands based on clinical proof that nutrition can work, way before that was a mainstream idea or even really a thing. Took on Garden of Life knowing that we had to redevelop every single product and rebrand the company in 3 months or it would be out of business. I've also had some big adventures that failed financially and panned out only in terms of valuable learning. I spent 3 years in Boston running promising biotech startups, including a company that was trying to harness the power of specialized microalgae to turn sunlight into edible nutrition protein and sustainably and affordably feed the world with sunlight. I led a team that succeeded in creating a stunning revenue and profitability turnaround for Capstone Nutrition that failed when we couldn't get the money to fuel the growth. And I've started 12 companies from scratch and only actually actively talk about 5 of them. You can do the math. Past failures and even knowing the odds have not dimmed my sense of adventure, and my current work certainly counts. Investment banking is not like selling a product where if people like it, they just keep buying it after the first sale. We start from scratch with a blank canvas and fill it up from scratch every single year with new businesses coming out for sale or with buyers in need of advice. Once a business owner trusts us enough to find them the right partner, it's an intense and exciting process to deliver on that trust. Every situation is different and requires the cumulative experience gained to date, and each engagement is an adventure that we have together. Simple idea number 5 is being curious. Curiosity drives innovation. It's that simple. You just can't study enough to keep up with the developments in a dynamic field like nutrition unless you're curious about it. You can't enjoy formulating effective nutrition products and creating new brands for 30 years and counting unless you're curious about what's possible with nutrition. You certainly can't sustain the energy required to start companies dedicated to new nutritional solutions or find companies the right buyers unless you're curious about whether whole new things can be done in this field. I find it fascinating and what nutrition can do, I never run out of energy for it. It's led me to bring some things to life that were mostly new to the world, like functional foods and beverage with clinically proven benefits. Nobody really done that before. Personalized nutrition programs based on individual data, and designing retail stores and brands that delivered a highly engaging consumer experience. I'm still deeply curious about what more nutrition can do for health. I can't wait to see what's next. Simple idea number 6 is trying to stay humble. This might seem like a weird place to mention that at a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I have been humbled plenty of times. Some of you in the audience probably remember feeling sorry for me as I went from running the biggest and most powerful company in the industry at that time to carrying my own cooler full of Celsius to NCN events trying to raise capital. I actually drag it behind me. Tom saw the wheels. Some of my friends in the industry also felt sorry for me. I went from running a huge company to an almost no revenue company that was deeply in debt when I took on Garden of Life. These are now success stories, but I've also had visionary ventures that failed. Sometimes, even in my high moments, I've also been touched with a dose of humility. I was appointed as the media spokesman for the industry after the passage of Deshay in late 1994. So at the opening of Expo West, you can picture the scene in spring of 1995, there I was, suit on, lights, microphones, cameras in my face from the news channels, at the opening doors of the Anaheim Convention Center. as I walked backwards into the trade show floor, telling the story of how this new law Deshay was going to bring a whole new level of professionalism, new formulations, attracting people from consumer products industries and marketing, new packaging, how great the nutrition business was going to be and how it's going to grow. I stopped in front of a random booth to finish my memorized monologue. I noticed after my interview, I turned around and I noticed that there was a giant handwritten sign in front of the random booth I had stopped in front of. It said in magic marker, 99% of all disease starts in the colon. And it was accompanied by a 6 foot by 9 foot black and white photo of an intestinal parasite that had recently been ejected from someone's colon. That was a proud moment for me. And 1995 was the last year that handwritten signs were allowed at Expo West. Today, I appreciate the good fortune I've had and the ones that have won. I carry the lessons from the losses into every new situation. I root hard for the entrepreneur and the business owners and still spend plenty of time with them via Nutrition Capital Network and William Wood & Company. Simple idea number 7, we're getting to the end, helping build a strong community. Most of you know that NBJ stands for Nutrition Business Journal, and I've been a strong supporter of events like this that build community from their very inception. And I mean the very beginning. When Tom Arts wanted to start the journal of record, whatever that is, for the nutrition industry, he needed market data. Back then, there was no spins, no IRI, Nielsen didn't track the natural channel, and GNC was the only retail chain with scanners in the stores at all. We didn't share data, but after a dozen calls and conversations with charming Tom Arts, I wanted to help him get this thing off the ground and agreed to spend an hour a month with him playing 20 questions about his data assumptions until they approximated the actuals we were seeing. Imagine my surprise when I received the inaugural issue of Nutrition Business Journal and found my name on the editorial board masthead, where it remains to this day. Thank you, Tom. Permission granted 20 years later. My adventurous experience in starting 12 companies in the nutrition space led me to be attracted to the simple idea, which was already underway with Steve Allen, Tom, and Grant. Mike Dovis joined us soon after, of creating an ecosystem for sources and uses of capital to cultivate a more innovative startup environment in the nutrition industry and to accelerate the growth of great small companies. And I'm still involved with that to this day. For the first 10 years of Nutrition Capital Network, the last time I ran the data, we still owned it. If you had invested in every company that made it past our selection committee, which was first run by Steve Allen and then I chaired it, you would have had a $100 million revenue company in your portfolio on average at least once every single year. Think about all the communities built from these businesses that were successful, that scaled their health positive products to millions of people. That's pretty impressive. Simple idea number 8 is use your imagination. It's fun and inspiring to imagine what nutrition can do to improve health. My slice of contribution to the nutrition industry has spanned 30 years so far. And during that time, we've grown from essentially a cottage industry where consumers got nutrition information from printed magazines and books to a professionalized category with great standards for efficacy and claims, a working regulatory environment, an internet that provides instant information at the touch of a button. Let's imagine ourselves just 1/3 of that time, 10 years into the future. What will nutrition hold for us in that time frame? I think 4 themes: smarter computers, better metrics, a bigger toolbox of great bioactives, and advanced insights into highly complex omic interactions in your body come together to herald in a whole new era of applied effective nutrition with a degree of precision and tunability that we can only imagine today. Rich people and performance athletes will probably be the first to benefit, but at scale, this set of advancements can benefit tens of millions of people and help manage and even prevent the largest nutritionally addressable health conditions facing humanity. Conditions like diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, obesity, and other major killers that are well known to be highly impacted by nutrition. The democratization of information made possible by the internet will enhance accessibility for these breakthroughs. The 9th simple idea is collaborating with smart people. Groups of talented people simply make better decisions and get more done than individuals alone. One of the very best parts of my career is the chance to collaborate with really smart people that I still learn something new from every single day. Some past and current collaborators are in the audience tonight. I'll call out just a few names. My scientific-minded collaborators include Dr. Guru Ramanathan. That's 25 years we just counted. Amazing guy. Dr. Hassan Mossari of New Elixir is here. Sebastian Balcom of Schism Bioworks is here. Sarah Morgan, a brilliant nutritionist, is here at my table. Jim Flatt, Sophia Elizondo from Brightseed Bio. Author and triathlete, Dr. Pam Peake. I'm not sure she's here, but she's speaking tomorrow. She's been a mentor for me as an author. Dr. Sandra Carter of M2. Jan Anderson of Modere. Some of my business collaborators include Tara Berkeley, who flew in specifically to say hi to me tonight. Thank you, Tara. Bruce Brown of Carry and Naturon. Mike Sata of Bonafide. Toby Cohen of Pharmavite. Nate Frazier of Modere. Got there, Nate. Andreas Wolf of Zia Vision. Liz Van Pelt of William Hood & Company. Amy Summers of Pitch Publicity. Grant, Steve, and Mike and Tom of Nutrition Capital and some other ventures. And that's just a few from the audience. I apologize if I missed somebody. But I do want to mention, amongst the others that aren't here, Irina Lorenzi, who was my original kind of thought partner at GNC and Garden Life, and helped me create Celsius and other nutrition ventures. She couldn't be here, but I wanted to call her out. My friendship with William Hood started and bloomed over the years right here at this summit, being on stage together and going on the whale watching boats. He and Jill Stave approached me with another simple idea: helping innovative companies in the nutrition space find the right buyers so that their products can continue to grow and reach more consumers with their health solutions. I met Jill at a fateful lunch in New York City, and wow, still wow. I told her that I only make one new friend every year or two, and that year she was sure it and still is. It's an absolutely fantastic partnership, and I absolutely love working with people with such integrity. I met my wife Laura, who's in the audience, when she was 18 years old. Fell in love within the first week and remain in that state today, even after 35 years of marriage. She's smart, funny, and the ultimate collaborator, making everyone around her better, especially me. Our daughters, Devin and Carmen, are creative forces in their own rights. I've co-authored books with each of them, and they have served as semi-voluntary testers in sounding boards for great and not so great ideas in nutrition since before they were in kindergarten. Carmen's sadly home in Boston with COVID, and Devin is right here in the front row. The final simple idea is being grateful. That's a simple idea that makes every day better. My dad passed away just over a year ago, and before he did, he made a big point to tell me that I am living exactly the kind of life he would hope for his children. What a great memory that is. I'm deeply grateful for having recovered my health, for the chance to be creative, for the sense of purpose and adventure I still feel daily, for the opportunity to collaborate with brilliant and talented people, including a lot of you in this audience, for the opportunity to make a contribution to the community, and for my family, who's partially here. I'm especially grateful for work in an industry that offers so much potential to help human health. In my view, it's just getting good, and I'm also grateful for the chance to keep contributing. Thank you for this deeply meaningful award. I'll try to do it justice.
Can we give Greg some appreciation? He's done so much for the industry. Without him, we would not have Deshay. So thank you very much, Greg. He didn't tell you the backstory where he made Deshay happen. And I'd love the two co-chairs to come up so we can take some pictures. So Jessica, Bill, thank you.